Hi there, I'm Karen from Trilogy Edibles, and I wanted to do a quick video on how to decorate some cookies. I know there's a lot of videos out there and that they're great, but if you're like me, I need to hear some words along with what I'm doing. So I've put together some do-it-yourself cookie kits with some icing bags and some cookies that you can order with some sprinkles. And I just thought I'd talk you through how to decorate them so it's easy and fun and they don't look like blobs, which is what usually happens when you give icing and cookies to people who don't know what they're doing. So I thought I would give you a little tutorial on the 3 cookies for this week's do-it-yourself kit. We have a unicorn, a rainbow with a cloud, and then just a little heart. Each cookie kit comes with 6 or 12 cookies. If you have 6 cookies, you get 4 bags of icing. If you get 12, you'll get 5, and they're a little bit bigger because there's more icing in them. So for purposes today, we're going to start off, move those ones out of the way. We're going to start with our rainbow. The colors that we're going to use today are blue, yellow, pink, and white. Not traditional colors, but still will get you the idea that this is a rainbow. So I'm going to be using tipless bags today to decorate these, but if you want to use bags with tips, you can go ahead and do that. They have a seam in them, and so when you cut the seam, you want to make sure that the seam is facing up. If you cut them with the seam over to the side, you're going to get that little duckbill mouth, and that will make it all kind of not work very well. So we want to make sure that our bags are with the seam facing up, and then we're going to cut them small and then cut them bigger if we need to. If you cut them too big, then you're kind of left with a big hole and lots of icing coming really, really quickly. So I'm just going to take this over to the side and cut a little hole. So not very, get it close to you, not very big. And we're going to outline our cookies first, and then we're going to fill them. And we're just going to move them back and forth with these 3 cookies. So we're first going to decorate the rainbow. I chose blue first. Probably should have chose a different color, but we'll go with the blue. So you're going to place your tip of your bag on the cookie. You're going to lightly squeeze, and then you're going to pull up. You'll notice that the cookie, I'm not actually on the cookie. I'm off the cookie, and then I'm going to touch back down. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to come back down, and we're going to leave that the way that is. The next color, we'll do white, same thing, cut a little tip, and then open up, and then yellow. And what I'm doing is when the icing bag is full, it doesn't go all the way to the tip. So I kind of lightly squeeze it so it brings it all the color into the tip so you know where the end is, because sometimes the end isn't always at the edge of the bag. And then I'm just going to cut a little tip and do the same thing. I'm going to squeeze. There we go. And I'm only outlining where I need to. I don't need to go along the blue because there's always already a line there. So there's no reason to go along that line. And then the last one to the end. And I'm just going to leave that like that. The other part, so once I've done that, we're going to just push that to the side. So we want that to dry a little bit before we add the colors. Next up is the unicorn, and we're just going to outline the whole thing in white. Okay, so it doesn't really matter where you start, just so you know. So that's the unicorn, the horn, and then we have 2 ears and the mane and the face. So it doesn't really matter where you start. Again, you're going to place it down on the cookie and outline the cookie. If you need to come in from the edge of the cookie, that's totally fine. You don't want to go too far out if you're not used to it because the icing could flow over to the edge. So I've outlined it all. trying to pick it up without getting my fingers in the icing. So you'll see it's got a nice outline. And then we're just gonna move that one away. And then the last one, this is your choice. Whatever color that you get in your bags. And if you have color preferences, you're certainly welcome to ask me for them. I'm gonna go pink because why not? And I'm gonna outline the heart. Come around and just outline like that. Once we've done that, we can move that one out of the way to get dry, and then we're gonna bring back our cloud and rainbow. So when you're doing colors next to each other or piping next to each other, you wanna leave time between each application. So I'm gonna put in the pink first and the blue first and let that dry for a little bit, and then come back and do the yellow and white. And what that's gonna do is allow it to have segmentation. There's gonna be lines there that you can see that clearly they're not all flat. The icing I'm using is a royal icing, and it's been thinned a bit so you can get that flat icing. So this is a boo-boo stick, and if you don't have this, oh, my brain just went numb. A toothpick, you can use those for sure. So what I'm gonna do here is just use the tip of the boo-boo stick, and I'm just gonna move the icing to, if I have any holes, and I'm gonna move it around, so if there's any air bubbles in there, they're gonna disappear. So you'll notice that now I've got a nice flat coat on that cookie. And I'm gonna grab the blue and do the exact same thing. Come back and fill that up. And do the same thing, making sure that I've cleaned my boo-boo stick. And I'm gonna decorate. Twirl it around, and there we go. So now what I'm gonna do is just take that and move it to the side. Now I'm gonna come down and I'm gonna bring my unicorn, and I'm gonna fill this all in, the whole thing. So we're just gonna come here, come up into the ears. I'm gonna come around, so I'm outlining the cookie first. And then you just kind of, however you want to fill it in. Some people like to do it in segments. I just tend to go back and forth a little bit, try to fill it in where there's a hole. Now, if the icing was too thin, you would find that it would overflow, so you don't want to put too much icing in, and then you just kind of want to move it around. Okay, so there we go. So we're going to let this sit for about 30 seconds before we do anything else. The reason why we're going to let it sit, because you want it to set up a little bit. Anything that you apply, like the sprinkles or the eyeball, if you put it on now, would just sink into the icing and you wouldn't even notice it was there. So we want to let that sit for a few minutes. So we're going to move it over to the side, seconds, not minutes, and just quickly do our heart. So we're going to do our heart, same thing. Come here and then fill it in. And this time I'm going to show you a technique where you use multiple colors, and it's called marbling. And what this will do is give it a fun look, and everybody's going to be, wow, that's really cool, so impressive. We're just going to move the boo-boo stick around so we have no holes. Everything goes right to the edge. No air bubbles. And then we come down and pull it at the end so you get a nice tip on your heart. And then again, you can take whatever color of the colors you want. I'm going to use the other three, all of them. And I'm just going to do drop a line. And what I'm doing is not touching the icing at all, just letting the white drop. And I'm going to put 2 lines in. You want them fair distant apart. You don't want them so far that people don't see what you're doing, but you don't want them too close either, because then you don't want them coming in together. I'm going to do yellow above. And then I'm going to take the blue and again, you could use the blue on the heart if you wanted to, or the white, any color of the ones that are given to you. But you can do the exact same technique with all the different colors. So now what you're going to do is take your boo-boo stick or your toothpick, put it straight up and down, the sharp end in, and you're going to put it right into the icing, and then you're just going to do a up and down motion. So you're going to start at the top or the bottom, it doesn't really matter, and you're just going to go up and down. Okay, so now you get this fun marbling technique. Isn't that pretty? It makes it really pretty, and you're going to let that sit for a second. We're going to bring back our unicorn, and I have a black nonpareil. It's just a little sugar bead, and I'm going to put that in for the eye right there. At least put it in right there. I'm going to take some sprinkles, and the one that I'm going to use are multicolored hearts. And for the mane of the cookie, of the unicorn, I'm just going to put in the hearts. I'm just going to put them down. Don't worry if they fall. Now, if you don't like it when they're in the way, you can just pull it right out of the way. And, you know, throw some more hearts on there, as many as you'd like. And then the last thing to finish off your unicorn is to add a horn, and that's the yellow. And you just put it up on the top. So now you have a nice little unicorn. Now, if you wanted to add a muzzle or a nose, you could pick the pink or whatever. Again, it's your unicorn. You can do whatever you want. Have a lovely unicorn. So just move those right out of the way. So you can use the same sprinkles, which I'm going to do, or you can use the other sprinkles that come with the kit, and you can add them to your heart as well. Just a few sprinkles across the one side. And you get a nice heart. Put that out of the way. And the last one we're going to do is fill in the rainbow. We're going to fill in the yellow. And then we're going to fill in the white. And just move it around to make sure that we don't get any air bubbles. And because it's white, you can be a little bit more creative with here, because we're going to put white down below for the cloud. I'm going to add some dots. So I'm just basically putting the tip and squeezing a little bit. And some yellow. And then some blue, making sure that the tip is always clean as well, just like your boo-boo stick. You never want to put a dirty tip or a dirty boo-boo stick. And you can leave them dots, or since we're here and you're want to do something differently, if you stick your toothpick or your boo-boo stick on the top of the circle and then pull down, you'll get a heart. So I'm going to start at the top, and I'm going to get hearts. Do it that way. And they're really tiny, so they're going to be hard to see when I pull it up to the screen. But if you look, you could get cute little hearts like that. And then you can take your white, and then you can outline your cloud. So I like to take the one side just a bit over top. So that's gonna, if you let it sit a little bit longer, it won't sink into the other colors, but that's okay for what we're doing right now. Now, if you wanted to, you could add sprinkles here if you'd like, or you can leave. I'm gonna outline my cloud in pink, just to give it a little bit of something. And this is gonna sink into the cloud and look like it's flat. And then I'm gonna add a little curlicue, as it were. And there you have it. 3 super simple, super easy. Let me bring the heart back down so you can see it. Do-it-yourself kit. Cookies don't have to be hard. They don't have to be intricate. You can have so much fun with it. But sometimes simple is just the best way to do it. So I'm gonna do a couple more of these. I have a space one. I have a one for Mother's Day. I hope this helps. I hope it makes it easier for you to decorate some cookies with really simple, and then you can do these with your kids. Your kids do them by themselves, etc. So if you have any questions, just let me know. I'm Karen from Trilogy Edibles. My email is karen@trilogyedibles.com. My website is www.trilogyedibles.com. Thanks for watching.